Hey guys, it's Tiny Tom Logan back with another video for you, and today we're going to be taking a look at the TNR rig, or as it's now being referred to, TNR2, because it's had a little kind of like a size there. It might even be a TNR V1.2 because we're obviously still using the same case, but TNR2 just seems to work in my head. It's like I need to nail on a 2 down the side here. Now, we did have a poll about this, well, a poll, a question, whatever, on Facebook, on the Tiny Tom Logan Facebook, facebook.com/TinyTomLogan, dead simple. Posted up there, did people want to see it? Because essentially this is going to i-series, Insomnia, i52, towards the end of August. It's not actually the end of August where I thought it was. I've actually lost a week compared to normal. I think it falls on the weekend around the sort of 24th, 25th. But don't quote me on the dates because at the moment my brain is absolutely frazzled, because there is so much to do during August, and then rolling into September, it's insane. So for me to keep pumping all the videos out, building rigs for shows, benching everything that I'm doing is a little bit fucking crazy, considering it's essentially, you know, when it comes to this kind of stuff, especially like the videos and everything, it's just me doing them. So I do need my brain testing. Every year I overbite and overstep the mark with i-series, and this year is no different. But anyway, we're going to have a look. Now, the reason why we've got it on this side so you can see the back is because with the rest of the video we're only really going to be looking from the obviously the business side, and I did want to let you see the graphics on the back. And just so that you know, TNR, it was basically where the custom graphics, it's kind of where we started with it, because we just wanted to try something a little different. And it was, for me, I'd had a what I called the Nürburgring rig in the first place, and it was a white and blue build, and this one was where it kind of evolved to start taking on all the white, black and red accents, which are obviously becoming much more apparent in the videos as time progresses. And people keep saying about, why is the videos now black and red? Well, you know, I might as well say it. The white, the black, or the greys, and the red, that's where the website's going. We've been bouncing around ideas for quite a while, but it will happen. In my head, what I'm doing is drip feeding you all, rather than dumping you with a whole lot of humongous changes all at once. Although there are going to be a lot of people who are going to shit bricks when the forums and the website does get changed, because it's a complete and utter culture shock, because there will be no blue whatsoever. It's the final little bit that I personally need to get sorted to kind of remove the past and bad memories and stuff. And yeah, so I'm just going to go with what I always liked anyway. And that, I mean, when you think about Orca, it's white, little bits of red and stuff, do you know what I mean? The colours have been there for so long, it's just I've not necessarily pointed them out. But anyway, so TNR, now don't go thinking that this is some amazing kind of like custom build, custom water cooled, custom machined, you know, one of those mental crazy mods that a lot of people are doing now all around the net. We've also got some really, really good modders on the OC3D forums. I have never personally been that gifted. My mods are all about tiny little things, and then I do lots of tiny little annoying things that take fucking ages, and then they all kind of add up. Because when you look at Orca, because Orca was probably the last custom thing that I did, when you look at it when the side panel's on, it looks like a standard case. And it's not until you get up close and you see how long I've spent doing all the tiny little details and stuff that you know, when you take the side off, you're like, huh? Sure, that's meant to be a bit different. But anyway, so that's my style of doing things, and it doesn't matter whether you like it or not really, because the last couple of times I've done a case like this, which was like the custom bench Air 540 that I've got to the side of me, people were kind of saying, oh yeah, his mods aren't even any good, and it's not meant to be like this. These are just workhorses. These are just my own personal rigs. You don't necessarily, if you want to criticise them, you know, everyone's welcome to their opinion. But I think a lot of people that kind of criticise them, they're probably criticising them because they couldn't do better. Because I know a lot of people in the industry that can do a shitload better, and there's always kind of like a mutual appreciation of anyone's work. It doesn't matter whether it's something based on a 50 quid case that they've spent every spare penny on over the last 6 months, and it ends up being that they spent £100 on it or something. You appreciate effort that people put in. You appreciate people's own designs and people's visions about what they wanted to do, and maybe even, let's face it, their abilities as well. So this is just one of my little things, and a lot of you guys wanted to see it. Now this is in a working state, but then the other thing that I need to kind of stress as well is I've put it together to test it, got the drivers working, checked the games, had the 4K screen on it, make sure the SLI was all ticking over and everything. But then I do have to take this apart so it can get to iSeries. Graphics cards have to come out, the hard drive stand has to come out. A lot of the times I take the power supply out as well, just so that there's not stuff that can get in and bashed around or fall out or get damaged. So this will actually end up having to be stripped, which is why the hard drive cage isn't down yet, because I fit that right at the last minute at the show. But anyway, I'm going to shut up talking, I'm going to move the camera, and I'm going to bring you in and we can look at the other side of the case. Now, I am renowned for going on about case badges, and there's only really a couple that I've ever liked. And it's been this one and the one that came with the Rampage Extreme Black Edition that I actually have ever liked. This is the older badge that comes with the MSI ones, and this was from the last iteration of TNR, like the original TNR. And I've decided to leave it here because you've got this little tray where you can stick your keys and stuff. And I think it's a really nice place to put it, where I don't think it looks out of place. You know, sometimes when you stick a case badge like this on the side of a case or something, it can look a bit, you know, chucked there. But I think the spacing on this all kind of works. It's nice and balanced, and you know, this is one of the few times that I'll kind of concede and go, yeah, actually it doesn't look too bad. Now I know I've done it, but if somebody else has done it, I'd say the same thing. To me, it looks like it works. So that is there on the top from the last one, and it's staying there. The newer one is actually kind of square, and I'm not 100% sold on it yet. It's the same size as a solid state drive sticker, but anyway, I'm going to stop the camera and we'll move the case again. Now we are on a bit of an angle, it's right on the edge of the desk, but that's just so that I can kind of get it in shot and I can still get in there to point stuff out. Now, people have said about the mesh, and like I said, this was only ever really meant for me as for my racing rig. And the mesh I do want to change, but it's going to be quite a complicated thing to do. Yes, I can just whiz it out. Yes, I can just stick a bit of acrylic over the top, but you've got like a ridge around the inside that this mesh attaches to, and it's not a continuous thing, and it's also the mesh goes through and then tabs on. So for me to put acrylic on that shelf, if it was clear acrylic, you could see all the gaps, you could see it just wouldn't look right. So what I may end up doing is putting some like a 5, maybe an 8mm border around the acrylic to kind of cover it up a little bit. Now many of you will be saying just cut these ridges off and then you can put the acrylic on the inside around this ledge, and that would normally be the type of thing that I would probably have done. But to be able to do that properly, you'd have to cut that, and this white paint, when you cut it, it has a tendency to go yellow with heat, so you have to spend ages going careful not to get everything too hot. So you've got that problem. It's going to take a month for Sundays. You then also, because we've already done the graphics and stuff, we might end up catching the graphics or slipping with the Dremel or something like that. So there's a lot of risk involved, and then if I did cut it, there would be an edge that I would then need to cover up, and then the C-strip would hold the window back a little bit, so it all gets bloody complicated, which is why I never really bothered to do it, because this was never meant to have taken a lot of time. It was certainly never meant to have gone to a show. So this, I'm hoping to sort something out, because even though the insides does look nice, I think it would be a shame not to have all the logo and everything visible at the show. And I certainly hope, hint hint, wink wink, nudge nudge, MSI have thought about the fact that we're going to need to see the back of this case because there's so much more graphics on it. But when we slide it off, first thing I need to say is this is not fixed in yet. And like I said, there's a reason for it. That's if I stick it down, because I use double-sided like number plate tape, if I stick that down, then I've still got to rip it up again to take it all apart to go to iSeries. So this is fine for the time being. It can just kind of sit there. Now, the solid state drive cage. In fact, what I'm going to do, I'm going to stop the camera so we can get a better look side on. Okay then peeps, so I've got the camera in my hand to give us some old school shakiness to go with the new school clearness. But anyway, the solid state drive was done for me by Parvum, the guys that make the acrylic cases. Essentially I drew out a really basic kind of pencil drawing on a bit of paper, told them what I wanted, 4 drives, and they basically, that arrived in the post. It is just for show though, because the drives are only 60GB ones, and yes, they're in RAID 0, but it's just the impact. When I first used these Force GTs, they were new. I had a lot of 60GB ones because I'd been playing around with RAID cards and stuff, so it was just another excuse to get them out, use them, but also show them off as well, and the colours worked really well together. It's like, it's not fixed because, like I've said to you, I've got to take it to the show, so what I will do is I'll fix it when we actually get there, and it all goes in, and then it will be nice and secure for the actual event. But I just think that the colours just work really well together, and it all kind of like blends in and just kind of matches quite nicely. So we've got that, 4 60GB Force GTs. In the bottom there's the AX860i with the Corsair red individually braided cables. A lot of people have said about the cables for the graphics cards not being particularly tidy. They're daisy chain ones though. I don't know whether I should use individual ones and make them look tidy. Maybe it'd be something I need to play around with. It's just a force of habit for me to just put, because where it's a daisy chain, we only have a single cable coming up, so it's easier to keep tidy here. It's easier to keep tidy down the back of the case, and it's easier to zip stuff up a lot easier rather than having 2 bunches. And it also means you've got less cables down the bottom here, because I always try and keep things down to a minimum. But cable management's getting so much better in the back of cases now, I maybe be able to change it, maybe rethink it. We've got Corsair Vengeance Pro memory in there, it's 2400 megahertz. CPU underneath the H100i is a 4790K. But then the MSI stuff, oh, the case is a Corsair 500R. The MSI stuff, we've got the Gaming 9, which if I can, there we go. I have to kind of remember that I'm creating a shadow up here, so it is quite difficult to do. Maybe I'll zoom you in a little bit, there we go. We've got the MSI Gaming 9 in there. Graphics cards are the new gaming GTX 780 6GB gaming cards. You can tell that they're the new ones because they've actually got a back plate on, and they look awesome. It just cleans that back up so much nicer. A lot of people do keep asking me about the SLI bridge. Now it's one from Nvidia. They got handed out to some retailers and stuff. As far as I know at the moment, there's no plans for them to go retail. But it is a really nice, chunky metal bit of kit. And yeah, people keep asking me. Maybe the best thing I can say is keep an eye on eBay, ask your retailers or whatever. But as far as I know, there's no plans to sell them. You know, as far as I was told when I got sent this. Anyway, things may have changed a little bit. But that's pretty much it. We've got the AF fans in the front and in the rear. They're red LED. I may put a white LED up just behind here to highlight all these red accents, because having a white LED, you know, because it'll be an insanely bright one, it will pick out all the red accents on the heat sinks. It will pick out the red there. There are little red LEDs nestled in behind the heatsink bits. So it will just all kind of add to the effect. The people have said to me, why don't you use, for argument's sake, coloured LED fans? Well, a lot of the time what people end up doing is, for argument's sake, we've got red LED fans here. They'll also end up putting a red LED up here, and that's where it kind of, everything starts to bleach in together then. These fans won't necessarily create enough light that it will cause any bleaching, but by having a white LED up here, it'll actually flood in with so much more light, it will help pick out all the details, and it does actually help make the red fans look redder as well. It's just kind of a designy type thing that when you start playing around with all different colours and combinations and stuff, you will start to understand it. If you want the kind of just bleached out, all in one, everything looks the same colour look, then, you know, that's completely up to you. I'm just a little bit more of a fan of, you know, if you've got red components and red cables and stuff like that, putting a white LED in, or, you know, down the bottom or something, can actually help bring those little details out a lot better than just flooding it with all the same sort of colours. The other thing people have said about is the rear intake fan. Well, we've got two AF120s in the front. We've got two AF120s going up out the top. They may get changed to SPs, but the SPs have actually only just arrived. I do have them, but I need to do some videos and stuff with them first, so I may swap those around. But this AF140 in the back is so that we've got more air coming in than we've got going out, so you get a positive case pressure, and it can help with dust and even help a little bit with temperatures and stuff as well. But yes, it was just a quick ganders round. I'm going to try and put the side on with one hand, and I think I'm going to fail. No, we managed to do it. But anyway, that's TNR2. Will be at I-Series. It's going to be on the MSI stand. You can come and have a go. The actual seat that you'll sit in is my own personal one as well. Yeah, well, it is basically just my racing rig. It's just me bringing it along. MSI said, could they borrow it? So, like I said, we've banged a few extra bits and bobs in. Going to be lots of 4K goodness. So yeah, I look forward to seeing you. I may have my little sister in tow. So any of you crazy bunch, if you want to come and say hello and all that kind of stuff, please do. It would mean the world to all of us, because I do love a good old chat with you lot. But anyway, this is Tiny Tom Logan with another video for you. Out. Ding ding.